Hey, Zips fans, Chad Welker here with the Zips Digital Network with another edition of the ZipsCast, this quarantine kind of show we've been putting on for you to get to know our student athletes who have been at home and resting up and getting ready to come back to the University of Akron better and stronger than ever to compete and eventually put on a showcase for all of you. So alongside my assistant, Spencer German, have Nate Stewart from football and Maverick Wolfley from football as well. And joining us today from women's tennis and Weston, Florida junior Jemmy Aguilar. And Jemmy and everybody, I'm going to open it up. And first of all, how was everybody's weekend? So hopefully everyone had a nice holiday with some time with family and friends.
Yeah, I had a great time this weekend with my family and just hanging out and really not doing anything else.
I was the same. I just spent some time with my siblings and pretty much family time for Easter, and all sat together and ate together because not much to do, but just had a good time.
I'm still in Akron. Just hung out with some people, cooked dinner, ate with them.
Yeah, it was nice this weekend, Chad. I mean, I got to see my mother-in-law. Brittany and I went down to see her, had brunch, dinner, so no complaints. It was nice to kind of get out of the house a little bit, do something different, as I'm sure you guys can attest as well. So, well, with that said, we'll sort of get into the beginning portion of the show, our first segment here, which is really all about you, Jemmy, as our guest for today. So I guess we'll let you just introduce yourself, talk a little bit about, what sport you play, which is obviously, spoiler, it's tennis, but just talk a little bit about your experience with that, and just what playing tennis at Akron also means to you.
Well, I've been playing tennis since I was pretty much 4 years old. I got into that. My whole family pretty much loves sports, and I said that my dad didn't know what sport I was going to play. He was kind of freaking out when I was going to be born because he was a baseball fan and basketball, so he was pretty concerned, like, oh, as a girl, like, what sport do I get to play? And then I was born next to two tennis courts, which is, like, tennis courts are really rare in Venezuela. Like, you don't see them as much as you see them here, that they have them in every park. So for him, that was like a sign where I could start playing. So luckily I did enjoy playing, and I decided to, go competitively, and was pretty good with it too. So that's kind of how I got started. I really do enjoy, like, sports. I love competing. I'm all about, like, I learned to play at pretty much every sport when I was growing up, but the only one I really did, like, all the way was tennis. Like, the other ones were just for hobby. And actually, I committed to FAU, but before I committed to FAU and I went there, I had visited the University of Akron. They were trying to recruit me when I was in high school. So I was kind of familiar with the school once I decided to transfer. And part of already having 2 years at FAU, I was not too, like, I kind of lost love of the sport, and I was just really trying to figure out, like, what I wanted to do with my major and enjoying playing again, just because I was not receiving, like, being fulfilled with the team there and the coaches there. So it was pretty much just trying to get, like, that passion and that love for the sport back again. And I decided to come to Akron. And it's honestly been really fulfilling. Like, I love my team. My coach is really good. Like, he knows what he's doing on the court, which is good because I've learned so much with him, like, just little things about my game that I've been playing so long that I was like, nobody has ever told me this. So it's been a really good experience being in Akron, tennis-wise and school.
Obviously, you mentioned a little bit there, but you had some familiarity with Akron. But what was, like, as you went through the process of transferring, how did you settle on Akron as the place you wanted to transfer to? Especially, I'm sure you had a lot of people telling you were crazy in regards to the weather change, obviously, from Florida to Akron, Ohio. But just so what went into that process? How'd you sort of, aside from obviously the fact that you had some familiarity with it, what were some of the biggest factors that led to you transferring to Akron in the end?
Well, I had actually seen the team in Boca for a tournament that they went to play fall semester of my sophomore year. So I had recently seen the team, once I'm in the transfer portal, it's like February that I start getting emails from the coach back then, and he contacts me saying like, hey, what's going on like in Florida? So I was honestly having other schools contact me, but it was just like I don't know, it was just knowing him previously kind of was like a really good and safe option just because of other things that were happening at the moment. I wasn't sure like school wise where I was going to end up. So I was like, all right, I'm familiar with the place. I kind of figured transferring, I wasn't going to be close to home either way. So it was in the fact of where I was going to end up either way, like probably a different state. I wasn't going to end up in Florida. So I was kind of okay with that. And then just being able that I like the team, I had seen them and I had seen the girls, I had seen how they were. I was like, all right, I kind of do like that atmosphere. So it kind of, it was a matter of like I had 2 more years left. So it was like, do I really want to go to a place that I'm going to either way start completely from zero, but not know anything at all. So it was more like, I knew that, and the coach had already seen me play, knew the type of player I was. So I was like, that relationship with the coach is going to help me like a lot better than going to someone that hasn't seen me play either. So that's kind of what got me to go to Akron.
Okay, so coming into Akron, I know you've talked about, like what your decision or what your mental process was in choosing Akron, but when you got here, was it what you expected it to be?
So it wasn't, it was different just because like the expectations, I don't really have like, I don't think I can think of any expectations I had like as a school. Like as a tennis program, I guess we're like not as big as football and basketball and baseball, let's say, on how they handle it. So it doesn't really change too much how it is. I think the biggest thing that changed was the fact that we had to drive to go to the courts when the weather got colder, which we didn't have to drive here to the courts, and we had them like right on campus. So you would literally walk to the courts. I think that was like the biggest, let's say, change of it. And then the rest, it's pretty similar. Like the amount of days you do weights, you lift, and the amount of time you like practice and stuff, it's pretty similar as well. So it wasn't like a complete change.
What has been your now that we're all at home, obviously we don't have access to the weight rooms at school or the like your courts that you would usually play on or anything like that. What are you doing now at home, like your workouts, lifting, whatever conditioning that you've been doing? What have you been doing, and how big has that been? How big of a change has that been for you?
Well, obviously, I think this has affected everybody. So it's obviously been a change on adapting on what you're used to and stuff. But I'll go out for like runs with my dog. Just try to do it at 6 p.m. because the Florida humidity is rough. But I go out for jogs to, keep that, and it's nice to like get out of the house with it too. Then we have our weight coach. He sends those works out to do with whatever we have at home or like bands. I have a couple bands that I got, so I was trying to adapt. And then on TikTok, whatever TikTok workout video I find I like, I might do that one too.
Okay, so what has been the hardest part for you about being like stuck in the house?
I'm really social, so the fact that I have to just socialize with my family is getting really hard because I think I know them too well. So it's getting to the part that like I don't know, when you're like out in public and you just start like people watching and you're like, why are people doing this? That's the part I'm at right now. Like I'm not even socializing, I'm just like analyzing them, and I'm like, why do you breathe this way? Like it's getting kind of hard being stuck with them, not gonna lie. But it's definitely like I'm enjoying it a lot with my siblings, which I don't get to spend too much time with them, so it's nice being able to just like I'll play Fortnite with my little brother and we'll all play together and we're just screaming at each other and all this stuff. So it's like little things that it's definitely like nice quality time with them.
I think everybody gets to a point sometimes with their family where it's just like, all right, we've spent enough time together. So I can relate to that for sure. I guess one last question for you, Jamie, before we move on to sort of our fun segment of the show. Just talk a little bit about your Akron experience off the court. So what are some of the other things that you're involved in on campus? What do you do for fun around Akron? What, community service, different things like that you might be involved in when you're not at practice or, playing an actual match or on the weekends?
So, well, I did with like two other my teammates, we did a community service. I don't remember the name, but we were buddies for a couple kids with disability. And it was a really good experience because we got to like do the same, like our sport with them. So it was nice just getting a different perspective from going like to the competing part and training to like, seeing how they see it just for fun and how they can like distract themselves and just like enjoy the little things that sometimes you get like really overwhelmed with your sport. So it's just nice like getting a different perspective from that and helping them out and spending time with them. And like one of the girls, she was so like happy like being with us that she went and got her mom and wanted her to like meet one of my teammates and was like, Mom, like meet my new best like friend and stuff. And so it was like a really nice experience, definitely different. And then like another thing we've done as a team, we do in the weekends a lot. We try to have like team dinners, or a couple of us go for dinner. We go to Cilantro quite a lot downtown. We love sushi, which is a great place. Like that is definitely a good place to eat. And then we also do, I don't remember what the park is called, but we went like on a hike and stuff. So that was like pretty fun, just, getting to know. But I haven't even been there a year and I've gotten to know a lot of places. Like I went to Indians game, gone to a German restaurant in Cleveland. So we try to really like, our team likes like, they're all foreign. So we're all like, all right, let's see what's new this weekend. So we like to like just meet new places and new people too.
I've got to ask the question in regards to being on a team with a bunch of foreign student athletes. What's that like, even though you're not from Akron, but they're not from this country, and you've got, quite a bit of experience being a native here, even though you weren't born in the U.S. But what's that like where you kind of get to learn about their culture, and what are some of the things that you've enjoyed learning about them?
I guess like with tennis, you're used to having a lot of people from all over the place. For me and my other team, my roommate was Russian. I had freshman year a Russian roommate and one was from Texas. So it was funny having her because she barely spoke English. So I would just nod and say, yeah, like, because I had no idea what was going on at first because her accent was so thick. With the girls, it's been really fun because pretty much they're all like half of the team is almost German. So it's funny because they pretty much dominate, Then I have Ceci, she's from Mexico, so I at least get to speak Spanish with her. And then they're from all over. The culture is like really nice because we'll be in the band and we'll just talk about like different foods from each other's country, like what's different. So you get to learn a lot, and I'll be asking them like, hey, what do you say like in Russian? Like we'll be in like in the matches, and whenever one player is like there, and usually it's one of the Germans left, so they'll speak like cheer her on in German. So I'm like, what does that mean? I want to say it too, I want to join. So it's like really nice just having all over that you get to like share the different experience and how different your sport can be in their culture in their hometown. So it's a good experience.
All right, I think that's a good stopping point for now on that. It's awesome to obviously have you introduce yourself to the fans, Jimmy, and let them get to know you a little bit more, just sort of your story, how you arrived at Akron. We're going to shift gears a little bit. We always reserve the second sort of portion of the show here for something fun. So I know we already sort of briefed you guys on it, but we're going to do our top 5 favorite sports movies. I was looking forward to having Alexis on. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today, but because we were all hoping she was going to watch some sports movies over the weekend because she didn't have a very vast library of them in her brain. So, but I'm going to kick it to you guys. Let's hear what your guys' top 5 favorite sports movies are. I'm interested to hear what you guys got.
My top 5 favorite sports movies are Woodlawn, Remember the Titans, When the Game Stands Tall, Blindside, and probably my favorite, The Varsity Blues.
It's a solid list.
Mine, I think. Okay, so my favorite is Friday Night Lights. I go Remember the Titans. The Blind Side is one of my favorite movies. Coach Carter and damn, I don't know. I don't know about the last one. I really don't. Those are my 4 go-tos.
We'll let you think of a 5th one. I'm interested to hear what Jemmy's got, because obviously you guys being the football guys on the pod, obviously the football ones resonate the most. I'd probably say the same thing. Like for me, like Remember the Titans is my number 1. So I want to hear what Jemmy's got, if she's got any interesting, not maybe like out of the ordinary ones that we wouldn't necessarily just know right off the top of our head.
So I actually love The Blind Side. That's one of my favorite movies. Remembering the Titans, I recently just saw it for a class and I had no idea about it and I actually liked it. Really good movie. I would say Moneyball is a good one. Rookie, which is 2 baseball movies, and I've seen my dad love Rocky, so I've seen all the Rocky movies. So technically that would be top 5 if we count Rocky, but yeah, like I would say those are pretty much the ones that come like on top of my head that are good movies that I like sports wise.
Yeah, the Rocky series, that's a good one right there. It's hard to like pick out just like one. You almost just have to like lump it all together as one. So, but yeah.
You guys forgot though, Rookie of the Year and Angels in the Outfield. Got the Mighty Ducks series. There's so many, the classic kind of youthful ones. But if you haven't seen any of those, check those ones out as well.
I like dodgeball a lot too.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is Miracle. Miracle is a great movie, and I'm not even a hockey fan.
Yeah, Miracle is a good one. I think it's also just like the motivational aspect.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's another one I was thinking of that I'm not even a really big fan of the sport, but it was a good movie. I can't even remember what it was now. Yeah, there's a movie. Oh, the one with I can't remember his name. He's from Notre Dame. He played at Notre Dame. It was Rudy.
Rudy, yeah.
Yeah.
Rudy was awesome.
No, my last favorite movie, sport movie, is either Facing the Giants or The Fifth Quarter.
I don't know if I've seen The Fifth Quarter. What's that one about?
Facing the Giants is really good.
Yeah, I think
a good movie.
Is the only movie that's ever made me cry.
The Fifth Quarter?
Yeah.
That's the saddest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Give me a short synopsis. Like what is that? I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
So basically, it's a kid. His I want to say his older
brother.
His older brother gets into a car accident.
Oh no! It was the older brother plays at like Wake Forest or something, and the younger brother wants to be just like him or whatever. And he ends up getting.
He died. He died in a car accident.
And the kid wants to show him that he can like go so many miles per hour. It's like insanely fast to go around a turn, and they die, and the kid dies and stuff. And he was brain dead.
Yeah, he was brain dead, but then like
they had to take him off.
He chose to save someone else's life, another woman who needed a heart transplant, and so he basically made the decision to end his own life to save the woman. And then like his older brother like basically plays for him, and like he wears number 5, and then like at the fourth quarter of every game when he plays at Wake Forest, everybody in the stands puts up the number 5 for his brother that died. And then like at the end of the movie, the family meets the woman whose heart he gave. Yeah, and it's a sad movie, but it's
I
a
don't want to
great
think
movie.
about it. I don't want to think about it.
Is
Fair
it based on a true story, or is it?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
I think so.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Because the one interesting note that I can come up with what the movies you've all named, Blindside, Remember
They're
the
true.
Titans, maybe mine is Varsity Blues, but they all have some actual like historical reasoning on why they were made. Obviously, not necessarily the 100% correct story, but the premise of it. When you guys get an opportunity to watch these sports stories, who would play you in a movie if you've got that inspirational spot, and what kind of would be that inspirational story of yours that would run its course through the world? I know it's a tough question, especially with like the likes of Remembering the Titans and whatnot.
Yeah, this wasn't on the rundown, Chad. You're putting them on the spot.
Ooh.
You got to put them on the spot. This is a ZipCast, man.
I would love for either the guy who plays Booby Miles in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
I
I don't
would
know
love
his
for
name.
him
I
to
know who you're
be
talking about.
him or Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
I love to be
He's
like
been in
my
every movie he's ever done.
yeah, those are my guys.
I have no idea. I really have no idea. I mean, maybe I don't even know who it is, but the guy that plays in Remember the Titans, one of those guys. I mean, they're all
Billingsley.
Or maybe
Billingsley from Friday Night Lights would do it.
Yeah, I guess the guy that plays
Nate's making the whole cast right now.
Yeah, he's picking it out. Jimmy.
Do you have anybody for me? Yeah. I really can't think of anything. Like, I would just say like someone who's Hispanic, and honestly, you don't probably have to be good at tennis because they'll probably edit that in the movie. So, hey, you know what? J-Lo can do it. But that's all I can. I really can't think of anybody.
And then what would be like your story? So what's your story of inspiration?
Yeah.
See, if you ask me one word that I can describe like my whole like athletic or life in a way, I would say sacrifice. That would be like that one word. I've moved multiple times from the States and like Venezuela, so I've had to, like, my family has had to adapt to a new country starting from zero. So I think that would be just mostly like the story. It's just like with sacrifices, you'll see things paying through. Like, it might be rough still, but if you look back at it, like, there's been a lot of progress and you wouldn't be where you are without those sacrifices.
I really don't know. I mean, it was pretty rough on me when I had to transfer from West Virginia, because that's where my dad played, my uncle, his brother played, and my older brother played. And I've been committed there since I was a freshman in high school. So I guess, I don't know. And then I had to sit out, and I really thought I was going to play, and I didn't play as much. And then the new coaching staff comes in. So I guess just like, I really don't know, just maybe patience and determination, coming back from that was pretty hard. So yeah, I just have to go with that, I guess.
I don't know. I guess around my junior through senior year, I guess, because like my school that I went to got closed down. Didn't know where I was gonna go to high school. Then like I actually had a teacher tell me that I had a teacher literally tell me in class that I was going to go to jail before I get Division I scholarship. I've had a teacher tell me that before.
That seems like a good route for a story for sure.
Yeah, but no, I think around the time where I got had no school to go to, I guess, when my school got closed down senior year and all that stuff. I guess that'd be the closest thing to that.
Cool. That's good stuff. I like that sort of way we went with that topic there. We have about little under 4 minutes left. So we'll try to sort of wrap up in that time. But just so we'll sort of shift back to a more serious conversation, not serious, but, different from, movies and whatnot. Just to talk a little bit about each of you, share, in your opinion, just what makes Akron great, in your opinion. What is it about Akron that's just special to you and makes it a great place to obviously live for a good portion of the year while you're going to school, but also just as a school in general and a community? Just what is it about Akron that you guys love the most?
Me personally, when I first was coming to transfer here, the first thing I noticed was how beautiful the campus was. I really liked it. That was a big thing for me coming here. But what I really love about Akron is that everybody supports each other. We're not like a giant university, but we're not small either. So I like how close everyone is in athletics and other players and other teams. It's not like we have a million teams like I don't know. But I don't know. I just like the closeness and support that all the team athletes give each other, even when we're, not in athletics or something. We just see each other out or during class, we're all friends. And I feel like we're a pretty close-knit group.
What I would say I like about Akron is I guess it's the idea of that worker mentality, I guess it is, where it's kind of rough around the edges a little bit, but the people that are from here, they hold that pride to it, I guess. And so I guess being here for a couple of years, you kind of have that too, almost you want to do well for the place that you're in, because you see the effort that everybody puts forth in trying to be a better version of themselves. So I guess that's the part that I like about it.
I would say I would agree with Nate and Mav as well. I like that the fact the athletic facility is on campus. So even if you're walking to class, you can see the soccer stadium or the baseball field now or the football. So it's you have everything right there, which makes the part of being a student athlete and a student be all together. Compared to my other school, it used to be separate, let's say, in a way, where the buildings were and the facilities. And my favorite part, which I've loved so far about Akron, is the people, from athletics or non-athletics, the people make Akron so special, just meeting them and talking to them and getting to know them, and it's just really, really special for me.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. We're running out here on ZipsCast, episode number 3. Appreciate Spencer, Nate, Jimmy, and Maverick for joining me. You guys, if you've watched a couple episodes, you know the ending. So I'll go ahead and end it one more time. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you again on Thursday. And as always, go Zips.